Hello, my name is Mark Leggatt. I'm an editor and an author, and I've been asked by Chimera to give you a few tips on submitting to agents. I have submitted to quite a number of agents over the course of my writing career, possibly well over 200, I should think, and I did get quite the hang of it after a while. But at first, I could have done with quite a lot of these tips, which I'm about to tell you. Now, you're ready right now to send your book. Let's say that's the point where you are. You've finished all your writing, you've edited it, you've polished it to within an inch of its life, and you're now ready at last to send it out to an agent. I'm here to tell you, stop. Not yet, right? Don't do it. Just chill out. There are other things you have to consider before you do that, and these are the lessons I have learned, which I'm very happy to pass on to you because I wish I'd known them. What to do with your book is, if you can, and I know this sounds strange, is to put it away in a drawer for a month, right? I know that sounds weird. Just do it. Don't touch it. Put it away. Don't look at it. Because what you have to do next is just as important as finishing the book. You have to make a list of agents that you're about to submit to. And it's very important that you focus on agents who want to represent your genre and want to sell your books, because the job of an agent is to sell books. That's how they make their living. That's how they pay their mortgage. If they can't sell your book, no matter how much they love it, if they cannot sell your book, there's absolutely no point in them taking it on. That's how they make their money. They sell books. So it's just as important having a good book as having a commercial book. Now, people will say, oh, you shouldn't write for the market. Listen, if you want to get published and on the shelves of Blackwell's or Waterstones, you got to write for the market. It is a market. Publishing is a business, right? So you've put the book away. What do you do now? Okay, now you've got to go out and find the agents who are looking for your book and who represent you as that kind of writer. There are many places now on the internet where you can get that information. One good place is querytracker.com. That's very good. You can go on Twitter or Facebook. I think Twitter is very good for it. And there's something called Manuscript Wishlist, which is, I believe, hashtag MWSL. If you go in there, you will see which agents are looking at that moment for particular books. Now, don't worry if I've said put the book away and the agent's the one thinking now. Agents can wait a bit for something good. And the reason is that you will have to find the correct agents, but next comes the query letter and the synopsis. Now, everybody hates the synopsis. Even writers that have been published for years hate synopsis because they're so difficult to do. Now, they take so much time. But when an agent opens your submission, that's your selling point. This is you to them. So it has to be fantastic. They will only know who you are and what you can do as a writer by what they have in front of you. If they have a query letter that they go, I don't really know what this writer is doing, or they have a synopsis where they read it and go, no, I've no idea what's going on here, they're just going to reject it. Because why would they take on a writer that can't communicate what they should be communicating to the agent, which is all about the book and them as a writer in a very short space in time. Now, the submission letter. Have a look on the internet at good examples of submission letters because there are quite a number of them around. The agent on their websites may also specify what they want in their submission letters. Now, this is important. If an agent specifies certain things in the submission, give them those certain things. Don't just send out a blanket submission letter to everyone. Tailor it specifically to that agent, because agents have been doing this for years and can spot them a mile off. The next thing is a synopsis. Now, synopsis is a hell. They drive you crazy. But, as I said before, your submission letter and synopsis are your selling points. They are like your advertisement to them to say, this is me as a writer, this is what I can do. During my career as an editor, you can tell from reading the initial first page of a book whether or not the writer can write. Now, years ago, I used to say, well, that's impossible. You can't. And it's also not just impossible. It's unfair. Why would you just don't give a writer a chance? Well, it's a really tough market. They only take on books they can sell, and they only want writers who can really write. They're not interested in taking on writers who are learning the craft. They want you to have done all the work and deliver them a book that they can sell right there and then. They're not your teachers, they're your agents. They sell books. That's what they do. So if they open and read a page or a synopsis or a submissions letter that doesn't quite cut the mustard, you're not going to do it. You're not going to get there. It's really, really tough to get published. Really tough. And it's really tough to get past an agent. But only because an agent is not a barrier to you getting published. Agents would love to take you on. If you've got a fantastic book, that's their dream. They'd love to take you on. But you've got to deliver to them really good writing, everything you do. Submissions letter, book, and synopsis. Now, synopsis. If you can deliver to the agent one-page, double-spaced synopsis, they will know that you really take this seriously. And in your synopsis, remember, it's not a blurb. You are going to tell the book cold from beginning to end with all the twists and the main characters. Don't get bogged down in subplots. Give the story to them really simply, really clearly, beginning to end, and they'll get it. That's a synopsis. That's not a blurb. For a blurb, only put it in the submissions letter if you're asked for such a thing. They might say, describe your book as you would expect it to be on the shelf. Then you might put a blurb, but not all agents ask for that. Now, one of the things I see as an editor is prologues and first pages, which they really don't do it. And you've been working on this for a while and you've edited the hell out of it and you think it's fantastic. Putting the book away for a month and not touching it will have huge benefits. Now, I used to think that I get the first page, what a lot of nonsense. Do it, and I guarantee you will look at the book in an entirely different way than you had a month before. I'm absolutely certain that would happen. I did it, and I just couldn't believe, because I picked up the book and I thought, was I going to send this? Oh my God. I took another month to re-edit the book once more. And it's really important that when you open the book as an editor, because you are your own editor, open it after these number of weeks. Open it cold, because when an agent picks up your book and your submission and reads it, they read it cold. They don't know who you are. They've never read you before. When a reader picks up your book on the shelves of Waterstones, they pick it up cold. They don't know who you are. They've never read you before. So you've got to hook them in the first page right away, because if you don't, they might just put your book down because there's plenty of other books on the shelf. So you've got to hammer it, bam, nail it, right on the first page. It's got to be exciting. We as writers are in the entertainment business, so deliver some drama, some intrigue, something interesting that makes them want to turn the page. That's what it's all about. So when you go back to edit your book again, if you've not looked at it for a number of weeks, you'll be able to see these things much more clearly, and you're opening it cold. If you're using a prologue, all right, there is a bit of an issue here. Prologues can be fantastic, right? The opening to a James Bond movie, it's a cold opening and it's pure action. That's a fantastic prologue to what's going to be an exciting movie. You know it's going to be exciting. If you open your book with a your prologue is not there to explain anything, because that's not how you should open a book, right? It is there to give a taster of what this book should be. So if your prologue is 3 pages long, it's not a taster. And if it jumps back and forward in time, trying to explain something that's coming up, that doesn't work either. It becomes, the reader will read it and go, well, okay, so why do I care? There's nothing happening here I care about. It's not exciting. It's an explanation. I don't need an explanation. I want a story. So if you're going to use a prologue, make it short and snappy and exciting and sell the book. if you have something to explain to the reader that they must understand for you to understand the story, that's fine. You could do it later in the book when it becomes more relevant and where it makes the most impact. So if you do have a prologue, make it short and make it snappy and make it sell the book. So when the reader reads it, they go, oh my God, I must buy this book. What a fantastic prologue. And then boom, you write to chapter 1. And that is sometimes where readers make a mistake. Sorry, writers make a mistake. Because they take an exciting part of their book and they transpose it out and they put it as a prologue. Well, that's great. You can have exciting prologue. Then you get to chapter 1 and it's dull. Frankly, I've seen a lot of dull chapter 1s after exciting prologues. If you write exciting prologues, write an exciting chapter 1 and then write an exciting chapter 2 and 3 and 4. And don't let up. That's how that's how to hook the reader. On that edit after a period of weeks, you'll make, I would have no doubt, a huge number of changes. At that point, I would say you're ready because you've done all the preparatory work. You've left your book alone, you went back to it cold, and I'm sure you make a huge number of changes. You've edited the opening so it's interesting, exciting. You've written a cracking submissions letter and you've polished the hell out of your synopsis, and that takes ages. So you'll be easily 2 weeks, at least 3, before you get to your edit. When you have all those things together, go back to your research of your agents and make a hit list of the ones you want to target. And using things like Query Tracker and Manuscript Wish List, take advice and build the submissions letter as that agent would want it. And a few final last tips. Spell their name right. Right? That's really, spell the agent's name right. That's a bit of a naughty thing if you don't get that right. And this is a professional letter, so don't be too informal. There'll be no, hey buddy, here's my book. On a Tuesday morning, the agent might be reading this. Let's say it's a rainy day, the train's late, the coffee machine's broken, and she's got 50 submissions in her inbox when she opens. She's not going to be in a good mood, so be professional. Okay? I would say the last thing I would do is, there is that thing where I've said you leave the submissions at the book alone for a few weeks and then send it out. I would also say with your submissions letter, when you finished it, leave it a day before you send it and then go back to it and check it again for spelling, for relevance, for accuracy and brevity. Just make it bang, 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 bang. So when they read that submissions letter, they get it all. And then they read the synopsis and they get it all. And they go, okay, this is good. They read the first chapter and they go, right, I've got it. Now you're off and running. One last tip. You can make a few spelling errors in your book. Certainly not in the submissions letter. But you can make a few spelling errors in your book. That's not a big deal. Everybody does it. But if you have a continual amount of spelling errors, that's a bad thing. So get a good grammar checker, because you can't, if you're not a proofreader, you're never going to get 100% right. But get a good grammar checker and stick to the format that the agent wanted. And generally that's A4, Times New Roman, 12, double spaced, normal size margins, don't go crazy. Put the page number at the bottom, and that's page 1 of how many pages. Put your email address on the bottom of the page. You can do that in a smaller font, and put the name of the book in the top margin. So if, for whatever reason, the agent may print it off, if it's a printout, they'll know who, where, and when the book is. And that, if you do all those things, will hopefully get you somewhat to the top of the long list of submissions that agents get every week. One last thing. Agents have lots of submissions. Every agent. There's no agent in the country doesn't get every Monday morning get a huge ton of submissions, and they have to go through them all. There are occasions where an agent will say, I would like to receive submissions exclusively. That's okay. That's what they want to do. But if that agent doesn't guarantee that they will come back in a certain amount of time, I would normally steer away from those. It's entirely up to yourself. If you say you have it exclusively, but I'd like to hear back in 8 weeks, that's not unreasonable. And if you don't hear back, move on, because you've made it clear in the submissions letter. Some agents will say, if you do not hear back from us in 12 weeks, then we're not interested. Now, they do have a lot, I have some sympathy because they do have a lot of submissions. But if that's the case, I wouldn't submit to those people and those agents exclusively. I wouldn't do that at all. I probably do 3 at a time, but it's entirely up to you. You may find different advice on the internet. But whatever you do, I wish you good luck. It took me years to eventually get an agent. I've had 2. My other agent unfortunately left the business and moved on to editing. But it does take perseverance, and rejection, par for the course. So don't worry about it. If one agent doesn't like it, it doesn't mean another agent isn't going to like it. Just make sure you get all the basics right. Spelling, submissions letter, synopsis, hell of a chapter 1. Get them perfectly done and then send it off. Good luck.